I mean, they're family to the show at this point. I mean, this is Carter P and Breeze Brewin is in the place, man.
What up, what up, what up, what
there
up?
It is. Everybody knows that voice.
How y'all doing?
You may have heard it on the Love Line. Maybe if you called one of those 900
1-900 1-900 rapper.
Guilty as charged.
190. Oh man, let me tell you, I got in trouble for that.
It happens.
Got one of those $7,000 phone bills.
Oh man, that's not good.
Nah, it wasn't
That's not
good.
good.
It wasn't good for me. What's up, man? Welcome, man. Welcome to the kitchen room.
Yo,
Long
it's good
overdue.
to be in the kitchen room, man. Yo, it's so overdue. I don't even want to say, man.
Man,
I know C is one of the reasons I became a teacher.
Wow. Well,
Real
look
talk.
at
You want to see him beat up kids?
Nah, he would come to Fat Beats. We would build like literally like once a month, and like he was telling me about education,
that. Yeah.
and I was like, yo, that doesn't sound horrible at all.
Sounded like a good gig, right?
Yeah, and I'm glad we talked.
Yeah,
because
man. I'm glad it worked out.
I'm at 17,
Wow.
approaching 18, and I know I'm a young buck compared to you, but
Well, hey, listen.
you know what I mean?
I'm 24 in at this point.
See, was sweeping those
you
floors.
bouncing at 25?
I can't do it. We got to have the age and the time and the whole equation that they come up with.
Yeah. They changing that in the city though.
Oh, word?
I think they gonna offer buyouts, and I'm gonna take it.
Oh, word? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so
definitely.
I got like, if that's the case, like 8 joints.
I mean, you could retire and you can pursue a rap career or something
I could.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's been so helpful.
Yeah, right.
At this point, I don't care though. My students know I rhyme now.
Well, see, but that's what's. I mean, yeah. Oh, so that you mean in that sense? I thought you meant.
I hit
like,
it for years.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, because I don't want no distraction. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at this point, they either think I'm whack or,
Yeah. Yeah, right.
like, or either they get it or they don't.
You're
So
not
it's
doing
just like-
sound effects, so.
But I'm
Yeah,
sure, like,
yeah.
have you had kids like look you up and check out the discography?
But the gram is different now. Because kids is like, yo, I seen that verse. I was aight.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
all right, good looking.
This shit is coming full circle, man. Like these
Yeah.
kids are appreciating MCs again, man. We've
Yeah.
had, we've talked about it forever, even back in the day when
You didn't even know.
shit just started getting terrible. We were talking about it then, where it was gonna go and how it was
They
gonna come
make
back.
it. They make a choice and they're like, yo, I'm gonna like that, or I'm gonna
Right.
like some real stuff. And it's just, even when I was, I got my students who even like 8 years ago, now they finished school and they finish in college and
Right, they're out there.
And 8 years ago, they was like, yo, I love Big L. I love this one. I love that one. And I'm like, yo, honestly, it's all there.
Right.
Use it. If you dig it, rock with it.
And it's still being made too.
And it's still being made on top of that.
by current artists. Yeah, that was kind of the connect that I made with students at school. Was I would put them on to like the current like underground stuff. I don't want to dwell on too much back in the day stuff because I don't want to come off as the back in my day. It was I try to let them know that, and also teaching them, showing them how like the media is controlled and what you hear is controlled and this kind of stuff exists. And it's crazy. I'm like, I would tell them like, you're supposed to be schooling me. This is supposed to be youth driven.
And they do.
They will, but with the stuff that they're familiar with.
You show them like, all right, I'm into lyricism, right?
Right.
And then they'll show you dudes, and I'm like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? These dudes is actually rhyming.
Yeah.
And it's dudes that, I mean, Lil Durk. I remember I was like, whatever, all that Chicago. And I listened to Lil Durk, and I was like, yo, he's rhyming.
Right. Yeah, sometimes this shit can be a little tough to listen
Surprising.
to, especially if you're like a Sonics person. Because I'm more as a DJ, I'm a little more.
Yeah.
So like you can't get past the production and
Yeah.
but as a lyricist, you could pick the shit apart and actually
Yeah.
really lyrically appreciate
I
it.
feel like they record in a crawl space at times. It's like, yo, man, we got this nice shed in the back where we keep nothing but, Roundup. That's
So-
where we rhyme.
That's not good to be around. It's causing cancer.
That's my point.
Oh, I got you.
I got it.
I'm
Yeah, that's a
slow guy.
roundabout reference.
I don't know if people know about the roundabout scandal, but anyway, look it up. But
yeah,
anyway.
look it up.
But
Google that shit.
the Fat Beats days were crazy, man. It was such a weird time because, like, at that time, people that were into the indie scene and that were shopping in those stores, guys like us, we were already a little older at that time.
Yeah.
We had lived through the era, you know what I'm
Y'all
saying?
did it. So a lot of cats did it.
Right.
So it was just coming through and just talking with your mans.
Right.
It was,
But for the younger cats that, like, they came up on the indie scene and, like, that was the stuff that they came up on, they would walk in the store and see their favorite MCs working there. You, Ill Bill, Eclipse. That had to be kind of crazy, right? Having people coming up to you.
I mean, sometimes it was dope, and then other times I'm just like, yo, man, you want to buy a record?
Yeah, I don't need no interview.
You know what I mean? But it was always love. That was the best job that didn't feel like a job ever.
Right, I could imagine. Yeah, that was a great place.
I mean, I got to build with brothers like you, and you know, I mean, we was just chilling, playing good music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. And teaching's a job.
Teaching is definitely a job, but I love it too. I mean, I shout out to my students today, man.
What grade? What grade?
I teach 12th grade ELA.
Oh wow.
Geez.
So regular English and AP English. And they're dope. Like, kids are dope as shit, man. Like, they're just cool. They're funny. And, you know, when you expose them to stuff, you know, they react. They respond. So,
I think that's the key, man. Is just once you expose them, they kind of run with it.
C just beats him up.
You ever fuck a kid up in school?
No. Is this camera on?
The camera's off. Carter, turn the phone off for a second.
Are we live?
But it's
I've broken up many fights, though.
Yeah.
Many fights.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
In an aggressive manner.
that's
Nah. I love the kids. And,
Like,
and
did you have to come off the top desk with the elbow to break the
I
fight
broke
up?
up fights with girls and got stomped.
Oh yeah. Especially the big ones.
Yo, they were like, yo, are you all right? I'm like,
Listen,
besides my pride, I'm okay.
if you see a girl come in the morning with a 2-liter
they
CNC,
could get it in.
if they come in the door in the morning with a 2-liter CNC,
I had girls fight over
it's gonna be
literally
on.
over Cheetos. This
Oh,
girl
yeah.
had a bag of Cheetos and she was like, yo, you want some fucking Cheetos? And the girl's, I don't want your fucking Cheetos. And at that point, it was on.
That's crazy.
It was on, and both of those saddest things, both of those girls got kicked out of school and was like their last chance to get into school. So I was hurt. I was hurt that I didn't like peep the Cheeto energy early. I was
you
like,
should have saw
damn.
the yellow finger.
I was like, damn, this Cheeto energy is something
Well, that
wrong.
Chester
Something's
Cheeto
bad
dude's
here.
starting trouble.
Who got
Chester
the
dude.
Cheetos? Who got the Cheetos?
In the end, nobody.
Nobody.
the janitors swept it up.
Got flaming hot up in there.
They got
Definitely flaming
very
hot.
flaming hot up in that piece.
But you've had an extensive career in hip hop as well, man.
It was bug. Like, even like for this like lead up, I was like, wow, I've done a lot of music.
Mm-hmm.
Cause there's like wild joints that I ain't even get to put, posting towards the joint, and it was like, there's a lot of heat.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's 25 plus. You know what I mean? And I've met great people, and people who are still my friends. Carter P.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I met him like even before. We knew that we both did music. We was in school together. We was roommates in college.
Right.
But it's like we went through it together. You know what I mean? Studios and yo, check this out, and rough demos and battles, and you know what I mean? So it's like a lot of the dudes that I've been rocking with, Jay Trez.
I was just gonna ask you about him.
Sucio motherfucking Smash.
He was in the chat a minute ago.
That's my brother. And
Shout
it's
out
like
to Sucio.
it's dope because it's like dudes that I don't know, man. Like, I never joined a fraternity in school. I thought them dudes were clowns.
Yeah, pretty much.
No offense if you like fraternities.
Yeah,
I guess. I may be very offensive. I don't know.
What was the De La line? Remember the De La line about fraternity? A bunch of trying to be Greek.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt was down with the Lambdas, right?
Yeah.
No.
I get him in the spots when I
Dave
play in
Rock.
spots, and you play like certain songs.
Dave Rock, Land of Data 5.
That was like one of their, like Atomic Dog is one for.
Yeah, and good for them. You know what I
They-
mean?
they
But
start
it's
going
like,
crazy.
I feel like the hip hop fraternity,
Right,
you know
right,
what I mean? It's like, it's real. Like,
Exactly.
it's organic. It wasn't no line. Our line was like, yo, you got lines, you got bars. And that was the test. That was your pledging. And I feel like I'm in that fraternity, and there's no, I ain't coming out of it. You know
Plus,
what I mean?
it was a more organic time, especially back then, but even now still, because anybody that's into this shit for real is obviously not just looking for acceptance or, this is something that's coming from the soul from a lot of people. So you automatically, there's that connection is there.
Yes.
You relate on that level.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like, the cats are doing art, and you want to support them, and they know you're doing art, so
Right.
it just goes back and forth, and we here. It's like I just love the music, so it's, I ain't gonna be,
Did you ever have a defining moment where you were just kind of like, not that I'm done with it, because we're never done with this shit, because I was the same way too before we started doing the show, but where you just was kind of like, I don't know if this is for me anymore. Did I outgrow this shit?
Yeah. I definitely had that, and it wasn't even. It was like in the heyday.
Right, because I was gonna say you bowed out when you were kind of like, you went out, in your heyday, which doesn't usually happen, but
There were just more pressing matters. You know what I mean? It was like, honestly, when I started teaching, I was like 2003, and it was just me needing stability for like my family,
Right.
and there's not a lot of stability. Like the dudes who do it, like I wonder how the full timers look at me, because it's like I guess I'm a part timer. I'd love to be a full timer, but that's just not what my situation dictated.
Well, I think it's people's life situation,
Yeah,
man. Like some
yeah.
people got the freedom to find themselves till they're 40 years old.
And
Yeah.
that's what's up. That's cool.
And
but
some
like,
people don't.
I had to give up my basketball dreams.
Well,
that happens.
I
that's
couldn't-
partially because you're 4'8".
Couldn't dunk.
You're
Donuts don't count.
and he's also follically challenged, so he's double whammy. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
tough.
You don't need that in basketball.
Yo, shout out to Queen Heroin too, man.
Queen
She's a
Heroin
teacher
is saving
too,
my
man.
motherfucking life. You know what I mean? She's my sister. Shout out Kev Fever. Like I got the greatest family in the world, and I don't say that lightly, And
can't-
honestly, and that was part of it too. I felt like the industry with us, it was actually bringing strain to my family.
I could see that. Yeah, I could.
You know what I mean? So it got to the point where I was like, fuck this shit, because I just want to go and, whatever, and see my family and be family. And then we was talking about, it was always talking about some shit we had to do. And it was like, so that kind of soured it a little bit. And honestly, I thought shit would have been different. I thought shit might have took off in a different way. But honestly, in retrospect, in hindsight, plug.
I like that.
Like I got more than most, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
grateful for all of that. And I'm, I still do mine, and I still learning and shit.
Clap
you
it
know
up,
what I mean?
man. Clap it up. Always a student. It's funny because like when you go back to some of that indie stuff from the 90s, obviously it was a movement, and a lot of that stuff didn't age well. Like I have crates and crates, and how I was in Fat
Yeah,
Beats.
yeah.
I lived in Fat Beats, and I was always trying my best to stay interested and not fall out of love with the shit. But there's a select few groups that you could probably count on one hand from that era that have stood the test of time. Of course, Jugganots is one of them.
Appreciate that.
One of the other ones I always go back to is the Psy and Yes You Are joints, the
Amazing.
Natural Elements,
Amazing.
like, all that stuff. But then-
Adagio.
Adagio, right? There's some Adagio representation in the place, right? But
Company Flow.
you definitely
Another teacher.
Fiction.
Listen, man. Me and
There's so
Len-
many. Like there's a lot of stuff that has stood the test of time, and I'm just glad to be a part of all of that.
I feel like there's a generation of people that missed a lot of that music, and if they revisited it now, like a lot of those younger cats that are into like lyrics now, if they were to go back and peep some of that shit,
I agree.
because I think there's a whole, even people our age that didn't follow that scene. They were listening to the jiggy shit at the time or whatever was the mainstream thing. They missed out on a lot of shit.
That's
if they-
real.
If they
That's
weren't
real.
paying attention.
But I think, it's back. Cats, like you said, cats are listening to lyricism. I'm listening
Yeah.
to lyricism. It's thanks to cats like y'all.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? It's like,
We've had a lot of young cats come through on the show and spit.
and,
Surprisingly,
and destroy shit.
One,
yeah.
one kid came with his dad.
Yeah, yeah.
Josiah was Josiah.
No, that was Mad Squabbles.
Mad Squabbles.
Shouts to
But
Mad
that's
Squabbles.
the dope thing about it, though. Now it's generational.
Right,
Like
exactly.
there's a young lady that I used to teach, and she's actually a blood relative with Jam Master Jay.
Oh wow.
And she was very young when, unfortunately, what happened. And, I was teaching her, and she was like, you know what, Paul, I like this. Because in my school, there's no Mr. Smith. It was Paul. So she was playing me like Apollo Brown. And I
Oh,
was like,
shit.
okay, we going to talk. And now,
Right.
she's in the young 20s. And I'm like, yo, all them notepads you had from back in high school,
Mm-hmm.
dig them up,
That's
dust them
right.
off.
That's like we had Brain Orchestra, the producer, and he's an MC.
He's amazing.
You saw his clip. when
Yeah,
he
he's
came
a
through?
monster. He's
Yo.
a monster. I mean, I saw him come up with the some of the beat showcases, and he
Right,
had
right.
the 505.
One of my
Rolling
students.
joint.
One of my students.
He's one of your students.
Well, he was. And I had no idea, because like Jersey's a little bit of a different dynamic than
Yeah.
New York. You know what I'm saying? Like I think kids in New York, as street as they are, they can also be a little more eclectic and a little more open mind, just minded just because they're exposed to a lot of stuff. Jersey's a little different. If you're in a hood in Jersey, it's a hood in Jersey. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of exposure to a lot of other stuff, but I had no idea that, that was the kind of stuff.
He's a monster, man. Shout out to Hot Water.
Word up.
Susio Smash.
So you guys,
Orchestra. That dude is mega talented.
And he's a young dude, man, and and that's what I'm saying, man.
I love it. I love the vibe he pushing.
Definitely. He came through here and killed it. So you got the new joint, man. So this has been a long time in the making.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a long time, and the joints, they spread out a bit because it was a lot of hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait, hurry up and teach, hurry up and raise kids, and
life.
And
right.
I'm okay with that because it's still me. You know what I mean? I remember like the moment where I was like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do some solo shit. And I was in the studio with my man Seb, and we knocked the joint out in one night. It's on the album. It's called Gotta Love It. And it was basically that, like, yo, you gotta really, if you still love this shit, fuck with it.
You know what's funny? I don't know if you ever feel this way, but like, in the early days and like in the 20s when everybody was hungry and trying to get some kind of accolades doing this shit, like it felt like there was this huge weight on your shoulders of like trying to beat the clock and trying to, but then you get to a certain point where like all of that stuff is lifted and you just
music.
It's just music at this point. It's a great place to be, man. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I've adopted a new saying that has helped me a lot. You know what I mean? Because that first album it exceeded my expectations.
As far as
I didn't think like
how it
affected people. And then the second album, we had Rick on it. Shout out, Fever the Kid, Kev Fever. He made sure that we had Rick on there. We had Sadat on there. We had, that joint was like trying to be in that mode with collaborating with people, and we had great producers outside of the camp, and it ain't do what I thought it should have did, and that joint hurt a little bit. You know what I mean?
You think it was the timing? People just weren't.
I think it was the timing. I think it was the label that we were on. I think it was a lot of things that just but at the end of the day, it was just like, yo, it hit me. You know what I mean? It hit me, and I still love Use Your Confusion. I think that's a great record.
It is, definitely.
But it was just like, damn, man. You know what I mean? I don't really know how to call it no more with this shit. You know what I mean? And it was like, it was definitely a speed bump and a half. You know what I mean?
I will say this though, when you talk about reaching people and touching people, man, like Clear Blue Skies, the song itself, at that time it was a little bit different if you were in some kind of interracial relationship. You know what I'm saying? I remember.
I mean, it was different for me too.
You would walk through like downtown in the village, on like West 4th, and people would talk shit.
Yeah, you hear some shit.
We would, me and my wife in the early days, we would hear, I got fighting dudes in the mall and stores and.
I'm sure out here it wasn't no cakewalk either.
No, I mean, she's. I don't know if she's in the chat, but I tore up a Foot Locker fighting like 3 dudes, like crazy shit.
That's whack.
So I know.
But salute.
But that song though, I think that was probably the most touching song of that entire era for a lot of people.
Yeah, man. It was bug, man, because it came from a real place. It came from my dude who ended up having a child of mixed race. So long story short, one of my dudes from the X, who was a real street dude, Italian. One of the only Italians that stayed when the white flight came in my neighborhood in the Northeast Bronx in Wakefield. Mm-hmm. And cats know him, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I was chilling with him. I was with his, we were up there in his crib playing like ColecoVision or Atari 2600 or some shit.
Activision.
Something. And then, some girl was calling him. He always had girls calling him because he had game like that. And his mom was like, yo, when you going to bring home, a girl with some nice blue eyes?
Oh, shit.
So I'm there chilling and I'm like.
And he probably didn't have them. I mean, Italians,
all he dated was black girls.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't nothing, it was just like, that's what was at his disposal. And that's what he gravitated to.
Right, of course.
And everybody around him was, people of color.
That's what you got access to. So there you are.
I mean, it was. Everybody, after the white flight, it was just him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then from there, it was like Slim just like, yo, let's just do a song about that. So like him talking about this ideal, this perfect idea of perfection, and then me going back to that, and it just became what it was.
Crazy.
And then now later, I mean, I have a child of mixed race, and you know I love her to death, and you know
There are kids, man. It is what it is.
that's my child.
Clap it up, man. You got to clap it up for that. That's a touching moment.
You know what I mean?
All right, man. Let's get into some of these joints because you sent it. You did typical rap guy fashion and sent the shit late.
I thought I sent it to you. See, my apologies.
No. It's all good. No, actually, it was perfect timing because
That's what's up.
It came right on time. Pause.
That's
So
great.
we gonna let you. We brought back a lot of old things that should be dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. We just fucked up.
Hey,
It is what it is,
it's
man.
a party.
You know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right?
Why would you?
That's right.
Don't
Why-
do that.
Who wants to learn them?
Nobody.
All right, so we're gonna let you select, man. We always let the artist pick. I know you mentioned the "Gotta Love It" joint that got me a little interested. But what do you want to do?
Let's rock with iPapa.
Okay. And now, who produced this?
My man Megalo, who is
Okay.
actually he is a guidance counselor at the school I used to teach at in
Interesting.
Red Hook, Brooklyn.
Mm.
Shout out to my brothers, South Brooklyn.
Now, for the people tuned in, this is spelled E-Y-E. Papa. I'm
They'll
sure
get it.
I'm sure they'll
You'll
get
get
it.
it.
All right, let's get into it. I'm curious. All right, shout out to everybody in the chat room, man. They're loving it.
Yeah. That's the joint right there.
Is this one of the illest joints of all time? Aside from the joint we just played, which was crazy. Yo,
That shit is amazing right there.
I
That's
did
my
not.
shit.
I wasn't expecting that at all. I'll be honest. Like the tempo was a little different. I thought for you.
Yeah, I mean, I like to tell stories, and that joint is semi-autobiographical.
That shit was crazy. The chat was loving that shit. That was
looks to the chat.
definitely dope, man.
Yo, it's a
Definitely
world
dope.
premiere too.
That's a world premiere. Flip the
Yeah.
script
we
radio
love
world premiere.
Exclusive. Exclusivo.
Me gusta. Mucho gusto.
I know Fred played some joints yesterday, so I was like, what joint did we not play it? Bang.
There you go. I
And
like
Eclipse
that.
played world premiere.
Oh, that guy. He's still
That
trying
guy.
to do hip hop shit.
Shout out to my dude.
We say it all the time, man.
Love that brother, Bree.
One of
Love
the-
that brother.
One of the best dudes in hip hop, man.
Man, I
Never
don't know
hear
where the
nothing
game
bad
would
about
be
him.
without him, man. Real talk.
Who you telling, man? Definitely. And he's quite the looker too. He could have,
I don't care what Tail says about him.
he could have got into modeling. He could have done a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
That's my brother.
He
right
chose
there.
hip hop.
Yeah,
Shout-
man. Hip hop chose him. I
Yo,
think.
did you see? Did you see when Len on Instagram? Did you see?
Can I add to that?
Yeah,
Can I
go
add
ahead.
to
Go ahead.
that?
Well, let's let the people know what it was first. So it was Eclipse's birthday not too long ago, and for anybody that knows, people always mistook Eclipse for Stretch. So
You ain't lying.
so Len, shouts to Mr. Len Coleflow,
Shout out to Mr. Motherfucking Len.
put up
That's
a
my
pic,
brother.
put up a picture of Stretch and was like, "Happy birthday, DJ Eclipse." And then I chimed in. I was like, "Everybody knows that's MC Search. What are you trying to do?" So what do you got to add? Good.
All right, so when Prince Paul was trying to locate me to work on Prince Among Thieves, he went to Fat Beats. So then he was like, he got my number. He called my kid's mom at the time. She's still my kid's mom,
I'm
but
about to say, what happened? Would you get rid of her?
we don't live. We're not together.
She sell the
We're
kids?
just
What
good-
happened?
we're
Beats
good-
up students,
You know what I mean?
gets rid of the
We're
wife.
good friends now, but
Gotta be.
so she gave the message and was like, yeah, Prince Paul. So I called him. He's like, yo, I got your number. I went to Fat Beats and I talked to Stretch. I was like, but Stretch doesn't work at Fat Beats.
The other guy, the other white guy.
And he wouldn't have my number because I don't bump with Stretch like that.
Right.
So I called Eclipse and I was like, thank you.
And Eclipse was like, yeah, it was me.
It was me. So
Shouts to Eclipse, man.
they don't even look alike. So
At
I
all.
don't even-
They all look
not
alike.
even-
What are you talking about?
That's horrible.
Anyway,
I
let's,
didn't
That's
say
what
that.
really makes it funny.
That's what makes it
They
the joke.
do not look
that,
alike.
that's the joke, right?
That's why we enjoy it.
But let's get into another joint, man. That first joint set the pace, man. So now I'm curious.
Shout out to DJ Spinner. Let's do
Shouts to Spinner,
Mentor.
Mentor.
Yeah.
And this is a Spinner production?
Yes, it is. I'm very proud to say
shit.
so.
Clap it up. Clap it up for that. That's great right there.
Polyrhythmatics
I
and
was
so
about to
much
say.
more.
This is gonna fit like a glove. I won't
What's up
pause
with
that.
Mentor? What's the title? What's the backstory on that? Teaching? Being a teacher?
Honestly, it's just the idea that in our culture, it seems like it's just like we was talking about with like younger cats versus older cats. It's like men tear each other apart when they have the ability to actually strengthen each other. So it's like mentor, T-O-R-E.
I like it. And there's not enough of it nowadays, man. You got too many people trying to
It's
cater.
coming up though.
It's coming back, definitely.
I mean, but it's like you got to do you, and it's like what the old heads don't respect is like there's a lot of cats who are doing the knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
and they going back and they checking, and it's like you
Yep.
know, they hearing and are influenced by stuff that you know we consider good music from our era and previous and after.
Yep.
So you know the whole era thing is you'll hear it.
That's a dead argument at this point, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's like do we love the music or not? Period.
right. Just make music, shut up, and don't philosophize.
Yeah, fuck it. But it's check it out.
All right, so here we go. Mentor. This is and what's the name of it? Hindsight's the name of the album, right?
Hindsight.
And this is a DJ Spinner production, so you know this is gonna be ill.
Very honored to rock with my brother.
All right, let's get into it. All right, so for all the people out there that complain about no drums in music and all of that shit, that trend,
Now we're spinning.
not in that joint. Holy shit, them drums are crazy. Yo, shouts to Spinner. That joint
Word.
was ill, very ill.
Yeah, man. I mean,
And that's another like kind of something I wouldn't expect. I didn't expect. You know what
old
I'm saying?
school, new school, no school rules.
There
Very
you go.
catchy hook.
Definitely, and
Good
important.
looks.
And
Very
important.
Yeah, man. We out here, man. Just do this fucking music, man. It means a lot.
It definitely does.
We
gotta.
need this shit.
We definitely need it now more than ever, man. You know, and you know you have no right to complain if you're not contributing. You
No,
notice
you
the
do
guys that
not.
are just professional complainers, but they never contribute shit.
I ain't got time for that.
It's so crazy, man. Like all this
Like
online.
you might have a point, but what you doing with it?
Right, exactly.
Y'all here, y'all got the show. I'm trying to put some music out. We trying to add to the culture, or we trying to just caption it.
You said it before. You said
Fuck a caption.
you said if you love it, fuck with it, right? So if we love it. That's why we've been doing this show 6 years because we fucking
Word.
love it.
'Cause
There's
we
no
def-
other reason.
Because we definitely ain't getting paid. That's for sure.
There's no other reason.
This shit's held together with bubble gum. This shit you looking
I
at.
fucking salute y'all.
Nah,
man.
it's the
Real
labor of
talk.
love.
Definitely, that's what we call it, the labor of love. And we talk about it all the time. I was like the most jaded cat. I think a lot of us were at a certain point. And, you know, these guys drug me out of retirement to do this, man. I was
I'm
like,
glad they did, man.
I'm glad too. Hey,
I
man.
think the culture is glad, man.
I think
'cause
so, man.
We need cats who actually care about it
And we're there.
to be the stewards, and we're there and want to be there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, definitely. I'm glad that this is so exciting that you're still doing this shit, man, and you got this joint coming out. Let's do one more, man. We got a pace going now.
Let's do Translated,
Okay.
short joint.
All right. Now
Shout out to B Money, my motherfucking brother. One of my from my Fat Beats cohorts with Seb, Ellie, DJ Boo.
Shouts to Boo.
Boo
Goes live like 77 times a day, man. That
he
guy,
gonna be with me on Saturday. When we gonna do a live
that's
on
dope.
Instagram, hosted by me and Queen Heroin, because I'm not good with technology.
She
And Boo is
need
gonna be from Washington Heights, blowing it up, playing some joints. So,
All right.
so he was there. My man, Bread Wonder. I don't know if y'all know Bread. Good producer, and you know,
I like the name.
great brother, man.
That's
Bread
a
Wonder.
Yeah,
That's a
Bread Wonder, man. Shout out to that brother, man.
Very
And,
creative name.
You know, Ellie, like B Money, like these dudes would play beat tapes that made me never want to like make beats again in life. Between Seb, Ellie
had joints.
and B Money, but they all laced me. You know what I mean? They all hooked me up, and then you know they laughed at my joints.
Remember that Cloud Kickers joint?
So yo, we sold a ton of them.
I got like 3 of them.
Shout out to Shambooks too.
Shan Brooks, no
Word
doubt.
up.
All right, so let's get into this Translated. Now, who produced this?
This is B Money.
This is okay. All right.
And shout out to Tara Van Poo. I see him on the check-in, Northeast Bronx. Y'all love him. I love him. Hardest working man in show business.
Have you ever heard when he does his African accent?
Tara Van Poo?
Yeah, like one of the cats selling Rolexes and shit.
Tara was my hero growing up, B.
Next time you talk to him on the phone,
And he's still my hero. That's my brother.
talented dude,
I
man.
told you.
Talented, hardworking, and good
Everybody from New York can do
ass
that.
people.
Very genuine dude, man.
Genuine dude.
And this is the thing, man. Like back to still doing this shit, we would have never come across us we came across so many great people, man, in the 6 years. We got tons of footage, and I'm so glad, you know, that
Like,
we got
honestly, it's like I'm so grateful to the dudes that I still know and the dudes that I meet. And you, in 5 minutes, you hear a song, you're like, okay, I can fuck with you.
Right,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
you
like,
know.
it's like, all right,
It's that fraternity.
it's the fraternity. You know what I mean? It's a quick pledge process.
My pledge is pretty quick. You know, I'm known for that.
Carter
She
P
got-
in the building.
Carter P is in the place. Yo, say
My
what's up to the
dude.
people, Carter P. Hold on a second.
Carter P, say what's up to the people,
I'm
man.
just chilling, supporting my roommate, man. My Nas.
Come on,
Reasons
man.
my
Stop
Nas,
it.
man.
You're
Top
making me
5.
blush.
He always
See
says
that?
that, man. I
Shouts to
believe
Carter.
him. I believe him.
And I want everyone.
Says it
everyone
all the time.
He says, yeah, he's all the time. And I
a
want
lot,
everyone to
Pastor.
know that Carter P is freshly exfoliated as usual. Hair is on point. He
Always.
He's, yo, this guy make you feel terrible about yourself.
His socks are iron.
Constantly. Shout out to my brother Doug Cohen, too. You know what I mean? Sugar Cuts.
Oh,
I
wow. Shouts to Sugar Cuts. I haven't heard that
I
name
talk
in
to
years.
him like once a week. That's my dude.
Wow, crazy. Table turns.
Table turns. He's done a lot. He's doing more.
He was
Nice.
involved in a lot of stuff with Rain in the early days, too, on the technological
Great
tip.
brother. Great person.
Good
That's
dude.
my brother.
Word up.
Does Table Turns and Bread Wonder know each other?
I think they do, actually. They got a joint coming out. All right, let's get into this. Translate it. Breeze
Yeah,
off the
man,
new
throw that
joint.
on.
Hindsight. I can't wait to hear this. Here we go.
That joint, right? That was my favorite.
That was your favorite
That
so
was-
far?
that was my favorite
I
out
was
of the
talking
three.
some shit on there, so
Yeah,
if you're into that,
everything about that, man.
And
Shout
it's-
out to B Money, man, my dude.
That snare was insane.
The bass in that shit was crazy. And you know, it just, in the 3 joints that we played, man, like the contrast between the 3,
That's what I was aiming for.
yeah, it's definitely not boring, but, you know, keep you on your toes.
That's what's up.
Julie
I appreciate
Hernandez
that.
says fire.
Peace, Julie Hernandez. I be seeing her on Instagram.
Yeah, she's in there.
Word
Yeah.
up.
Word up. Yeah, the chat's loving it, man. Definitely. Shouts to the chat, no doubt. But, so, when is this officially released?
Tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
Ah, okay.
I know tonight at 12 o'clock. Shout out to Hus Kingpin. He got a project dropping. I'm on one of them joints.
Okay.
Can't wait to hear that joint.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? In the iTunes and all that.
So people want to reach out to you. Instagram's the best place. Is that the best
It's
place?
the best place. You know what I mean? You could reach out to me through the Breeze Brewin or the Jugganots joint, because that's where the Matic home base is. Shout out to Matic Records. the
Again,
whole
shout out to
team.
Queen Heroin. She's in the chat right now.
Shout out to my sister. Love you,
checking.
girl.
Yo, she-
Monster that she is.